Hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is the illustrious Connor Mack. Back again. Connor,
Yeah,
your baseball season has been going well, I've heard so far. I mean, I think earlier in the season you said it was a little bit of a struggle, but I mean, I think it's been Success Street for you so far, huh?
yeah. The last few days, they haven't been bad. They just been It's like 2-2, just blah. But week before that was good. It's been pretty good. But let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling today.
Yeah.
Cash, huge, need it.
Today,
Damn it.
big day. Big day. A
Yes.
large card. Excited about it. Some pitchers. I will admit, I looked at the cards today and I was like, I can't. The last couple of days, I've looked at the card and felt like Helen Keller just not being able to find any good plays. But today, the last like hour or two, I kept looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, and it's like, man, things are starting to come together. So I think we're gonna have a good day today, Connor. And I like what I have so far, and I'm
Like it.
excited for this card. But of course, thank you to the city of Baltimore as always, because they provide us with these lovely videos, Connor. Let's get into Say Hey Play 63. Say Hey Play 63 officially underway. We will talk about this Diamondback Reds game real quick because this is supposed to be a rainy day in Cincinnati. I don't think this game is going to go. I will check on Twitter and see if there has been any updates about this game so far. But RotoWire has it in red right now. Let's double check. Yeah, red, 56% chance of rain. And I'll look at the Reds Twitter. While I do that, Connor, I do not have anything here. I would lean Diamondbacks, if anything. I think Mike Minor. Well, it's more the Cincinnati Reds bats have been hot, and the Diamondbacks kind of been exposed recently. But I would lean Diamondbacks. But this is a pass game for me, just due to elements, obviously. So, Connor, what do you have on this, if anything?
Yeah, I do not want to back Mike Minor. The Reds though are swinging it, and the D-backs have not. I mean, other than late yesterday, and I don't know, they put 5 runs on the board, and that was before what they have. I think almost 2 games, 18 innings, scoreless streak, maybe even longer. The start of that game yesterday, so the bats were dead. So I think the D-backs swinging a little bit better. I'm just gonna wait on this road trip, like you talked about. This team's kind of hit the shits, as I say, hit the skids. Even Merrill Kelly hasn't looked great. I mean, he's still 4-3 with a 3.66, but I'd like to get him back when he's at home. He just hasn't been too sharp on the road. I mean, he's just been decent. He's gone 5 and given up 3. Basically his last few starts. He can't walk people, and that's his problem. He walks 3 or 4. Boom, there's a 3-run jack. I mean, that happened right away yesterday in that game. Votto a 3-run bomb, and it was just on. So the Reds are hot. I'd roll Reds. I just don't love it. I didn't look. What's their team total? I don't even know if the game gets played like you talked about. That could maybe be a look, but I have nothing here either.
I don't hate a team total look for anyone, obviously. I'll look up their team total right now, but Red's last tweet was about some dude who got ejected in a game in 19 whatever for falling asleep in the outfield. So no weather report updates for that. But you can get a Cincinnati Reds team total, and obviously Bovada is a little bit juicier than most people. But where are these fucking Reds? I can't even fucking find them.
I got him 115. So basically the same number.
4.5?
What? 4.5, yeah.
4.5, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't hate that at all. I guess I would lean that way as well. I mean, I will agree there. Let's move on because I don't think, like I said, I don't think this game gets played, to be honest. Rain in the forecast. Let's move on to my first bet here. Logan Gilbert Urquidy here. And I say it every time Urquidy pitches now. It's bet him on the at home, fade him on the road. I mean, it's been a like clockwork kind of thing. And he's facing Logan Gilbert, and these two pitchers have seen these two lineups plenty of times this year. And I taken the first 5 under here, honestly. I think Logan Gilbert is good enough to keep dazzling this Houston lineup. Last time out for Gilbert, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 7 Ks, and a walk. Before that was against the Houston Astros at Seattle. This is their first game at Houston. That would be my main concern for Gilbert's sake here. But 2 starts in Seattle, he's dominated them both times. The most recent one was 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, and no walks there. Urquidy has struggled his last 2 appearances, notably both on the road. The Royals 3 earned runs is over 6. It's not really struggling, I guess, but you'd expect him to kind of pitch better against the Royals. And then at Seattle, kind of a blow-up spot there. 4 2/3, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 4 Ks, 2 walks. So ultimately, I think that Urquidy is just a different pitcher at home and a guy that I'd want to bet on. And we all know that the Astros this year are just a wagon for unders. The numbers for Seattle against righties, 126 weighted runs created plus since June 15th or May 15th, whatever fucking month it was last month. But they've been doing well. That's 5th in the league. 12th are the Astros, 111. So I'm taking the under. It's a 4.5 and it's at minus 125. So a little too close to the juicing limit for me, but I do think these pitchers go out there and shove.
Yeah, I'm a huge Logan Gilbert fan as well. This guy's really shoved lately, This guy's going deep. 7 innings, his last 4 starts. His last start was 6. And he's been key. Early on, he didn't seem like he had it kind of early on in the year, but he got by with his stuff. Now he seems to be settling in and looks great. I'm a big Astros, guy, but not here. I don't want it. I love that first 5 under, 4.5. I think I might jump on that. I kind of like the Mariners a little bit. I think they can maybe get to Urquidy. I know at home he's a little bit better, and he's had back-to-back road starts that were not good, Gave up 3, went 6 that was decent, but 12 hits, 5 earned runs to Seattle just May 28th. So, and there's some good numbers. Ty France, some few other guys, 7 for 15 with a homer. A guy I took the other day that did not hit a jack. He could go yak tonight. So I kind of like the Mariners a little bit at the plus price.
Yeah, I wanted to move on the Mariners full game, honestly. I really did, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. I got a little scared, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And this was a team that I thought could win this division, and it does not seem like that is the case. Seems like this is just another year.
They were really lucky last year, though. I mean, they won all those extra inning games. Yeah, all those one-run games. So I think they're a 500 team, maybe.
Yeah, that goes to show you should not bet overs with the Seattle Mariners, especially because they literally have the longest playoff drought in professional sports. So shout out to the Seattle Mariners. One last thing about this game, just to underline Urquidy home road splits. We talk about it frequently, just to give you the numbers. 18 1/3 innings pitched at home this year, a 1.47 ERA. 30 innings pitched on the road, a 6.61. So that is just a crazy, crazy thing. So I cannot wait. Let's shout out the chat real quick because I can see Saturated already talking about the Celtics. Is the headrest for when you slump over after your Celtics inevitably choke tonight? No, it is for me bashing my head in when they turn over the ball and then eventually they come out on top. Saturated. That is what's going to happen. Shout out to Ronnie Ambergia, Moneyline. Or gas station report in there saying that. Shout out to Kyle Hanley obviously joining us as well. Saturated giving us also the 8-4 update for the Royals. They get the dub there with a full line value on them earlier from Sports Insights too. So very interesting there that you should. That Sports Insights full line value stuff. I don't know how they get to that point. But it always seems like it's cashing, man. So it's just something that I don't want to bet against. Jimmy or I should honestly keep track of it. But Jimmy, I know, doesn't have time, and neither do I, honestly. But shout out to Jake Burns joining us. Real Deal Prime, of course. And I think it's funny, Sam Colmer. I think it's very funny that Kyle Hanley is just casually asking people if they want to bet $1,000 on something. Just a 1K side bet. Kyle Hanley, and maybe not all our unit sizes are that big, Kyle. Shout out to you, my guy. You've got
get it
balls out there. Shout out to you. Ron Crawford and Ron Lofton in here as well. Crawford putting the Yankees play of the day in there. Sure. And shout out to Elio as well. Shout out to you, my man. I saw that.
Elio, what up, my man?
I think he said 16 hours of grinding earlier this morning on Jimmy's show. So hey, that's that poker life. So shout out to you, Elio. Appreciate you for watching as always. Next game on our slate, a game that I find very fascinating. Washington Nationals versus the Miami Marlins, I should say. And this line is just slowly crept towards the Nationals. I think Jimmy said it was like minus 250 earlier today, minus 210 during the show, I believe. And now it's minus 200. It just keeps going tick, 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 tick down. And Josiah Gray, he's the best they've got over there in Washington. So I'm not really surprised by that. Ultimately, I didn't want to play this game. I could see a first 5 under for sure. 3.5, scares me. But I could easily see both these squads going under. The real thing is, maybe I could see the Mariners getting some hits, obviously, off of Josiah Gray because they're first against righties, 132 weighted runs created plus. Maybe a Mariners team total, or Marlins. I keep saying Mariners. Marlins team total over, but it's probably a higher number. My guess would be a 3.5 is super juiced here. 3.5 minus 170. You'd have to get a 4.5 at even money. So yeah, no thanks. I'd rather pass. And maybe you get there if Josiah Gray gets out early and you get a Nationals bullpen, a little bit of more of that. But yeah, pass for me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. It just Marlins scored all those runs yesterday. Can they get 5 today off Gray? Which this guy could be pretty good. I've seen so many of his starts when he was a prospect with the Dodgers than when he came over last year and even this year. And I'm surprised he's 6-4. I think he leaves the ball up. Obviously, the long ball's been his problem. I mean, the Jacks. He's given some games. Dodgers, Astros, 3 in those. The Angels, he gave up a couple. That could be a problem. So I like that team total as well. If I wouldn't bet the Marlins at this price, I love Alcantara. Sandy, he's the man. Maybe his K prop.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of talk about that today.
Yeah, I'm sure he's good. You know what scares me a little bit? Nats get shut out. He's been so good. It's about 5 starts where he's just dealt, where he's gone 8 innings. Is he due maybe for 1? But even in those starts, he's so good where he goes 5 or 6 and he can get by. I mean, he faced this national team earlier this year. I remember the game, and I think he went 6 innings. He gave up 1, and he didn't have his best shit. So he could get you through a first 5 here. Yeah, do they hit today? Off Gray. That's the big key. Sandy's been great. On unders for me, I'm probably 4-1 or 5-1, so I don't hate it. Man, the Nats, that's a big price. They just stink. It's a pass for me. If I could get there with the Marlins, can they swing it again? But all around, I'm going to pass. I'd still go under, though. First 5 under. I know it'd be the Marlins got to get 5. I think he gives up maybe 1 to the Nats, 2 tops. So I'd be on that under as well. I'm thinking about it. I don't know if it'll go first 5 or full game, but it's definitely circled here today, going in my head.
Yeah, I've been right there with you. I stared at that number for a while, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just one Josiah Gray bad start away from that getting blown up quickly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jake Burns, who's watching, asking about a Mariners team total over. I looked at it. 3.5, if for me, is at minus 130, and I think the 3.5 would be, if I had to pick one, that would be the play. Don't like the 4 at even money. I think 4 run sounds about right for the Mariners. I keep wanting to say Marlins and Mariners because they seem just exactly the same in my head. But I do like that team total. 4 is pushing it, but I think that game goes under. And you were right. You saw your comment earlier. Urquidy is kind of a different pitcher at home. It's just maybe just home environment. Pitt likes the mound, whatever you want to call it. Just better at home. So let's move on. Next game on the slate here: Cubs versus the Orioles here. Marcus Stroman, who, man, I wanted the Red Sox to sign Marcus Stroman this offseason, honestly. I mean, transparency. I thought he would be a decent pitcher.
Yeah.
And he really hasn't been. And the guys earlier today, Jimmy said, when who was the ML? It was Noli. Noli said that, he's kind of that pitcher that comes and goes with his opponent, big game pitcher with the Corbin Burns on the mound. Then he'll go out there and bring his A shit. But, I don't know. Maybe it'll later on in the year too, as the Cubs start getting worse and worse, and they start losing more and more. And he's not a guy that's going to get traded because he just signed there, I believe, like a 3-4 year deal. So I think he'll get worse as the season goes on, honestly. And today against the Orioles, at a sleepy Camden Yards versus Jordan Lyles, who also is not great. I mean, I've bet on him in 1. Luckily, he's a better pitcher on the road. So I would just lean towards an over here, 8.5. I understand Camden Yards is that big bad ballpark, but an over here at 8.5 would be my lean. Another concern there would be to Yesterday that game was pretty high scoring. I was on Cubs first 5 money line. That went down in flames immediately. So a higher scoring game like that, we'll see the bats come out hot again tonight. But another pass game for me, unfortunately. Both these teams are hitting righties, by the way. One last thing. Cubs 10th, 116 weighted runs created plus, while the Baltimore Orioles are dropping a little bit, 18th, 94. So close to average still, but they've had better weeks split time. So just a cold stretch for the Orioles.
Yeah, it is. One thing, this game is tough because yesterday I liked the over. I liked the Orioles. Stroman just got obliterated that last start. I mean, not at St. Louis, I think.
It was at home.
Niner.
St. Louis.
It was at home? Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. It seems like he just in Chicago. I don't know what it is. I'll pull up his splits right now, but it seems like every time I see him there, he gets shelled.
Yeah, and Lyles, it's just been a consistent. He's gone 5 innings. He's just like he's the ultimate. Gives at least 3 or 4. It seems like every time. So it seems like Stroman bounced back today, his start, but I'm with you because like how well does he pitch? I lean over, after I think about it. I think he doesn't get totally ripped, but I like to see the Orioles starting to swing at Mullins and those guys. I don't know, they had 6 homers yesterday, something like that. So I think
just on Keegan Thompson, who's been a great pitcher this year, but just immediately, I had, like I said, I had Cubs first 5 money line. They get a couple runs in the first. I'm like, oh yeah, we're feeling great. And then 3 pitches, 2 home runs. Like, oh, okay, so it's going to be one of these games, huh? By the way, just to underline his splits, ridiculous as well. At home, 18 innings pitched, a 9.33 ERA at home. On the road, 29 innings pitched, a 2.79 ERA. So
there you go.
Man, Camden Yards is just not a friend, or not Camden Yards. Wrigley Field is just not a friendly place for Marcus Stroman. Maybe it's the wind, maybe it's the bound. Who knows? Just not a safe place for him. So, yeah, I'd still lean over because I don't think he's a good pitcher right now, but we'll see here. We'll see here for sure. Not an official play for me. Connor, you're not officially moving on it either, correct?
No, I look at runs, and like I talked about, my guy, Trey Boom Boom Mancini, starting to hit. He hit a jack yesterday. 7 for 19. I think he's got a couple doubles and a triple. And Contreras, if you're looking for a jack, 4 for 7, couple homers off Lyles. Maybe a good look there. Take his player prop, over 1.5 for the jack.
Seeing Wilson Contreras basically become the captain of the Cubs has made my heart grow. Venezuelan, obviously. And
it seems like the only guy there left,
Oh, yeah, and they're not going to trade him either. Watching him, if you watch Cubs games, he is, like, clearly the guy. Like, he is – the viral video the other day of him telling the rookie to breathe before he gets a double, he's, like, the big brother of that clubhouse, and – if the Cubs are going to re-sign anyone, and it seems like it's going to be Wilson. Naturally, because he's from Venezuela, and I've learned this over the past years, shout out to Ozzie Albies, shout out to Ronald Acuna, you'll get him cheaper than expected. So, shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's move on. Next game, we'll talk about the St. Louis Cardinals here versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Some notable absences. I think I'm going to double-check here. We've got officially Nolan Arenado taking a day off today. So that is an issue here. Yeah, no Nolan Arenado today, but you do still have potentially the MVP frontrunner and Paul Goldschmidt out there. And the line, I expected the line to go the Rays' way when you can see Nolan Arenado out, but going the way of the Cardinals. It was plus 130 early this morning. Now it's plus 117 with the bullpen day. Packy Naughton. I mean, this is the Jimmy the Bag implicit bias here, but when I see Packy Naughton, I see home runs and runs here. When I see Corey Kluber, I see runs here as well. So I would also go over here, but nothing official for me. The big thing that took me off of that is Corey Kluber does in fact like pitching in the Trop. Home road splits. Again, it's I guess you can call it a small sample size right now, but it's the sample size we've got. Home 2.60 ERA, on the road a 5.09 ERA. So I'm going to just stay off this game and hopefully watch back and see the Cardinals take this dub.
Yeah, that one hurt if you have the Cardinals. And it seems like the Rays, that's how they score. It's just like 1 inning, 1 3-run bomb, and boom.
That's called being raised. That's something that the AL East, everyone in the AL East clearly understands and happens all the time. Yeah, it happens just shockingly amount.
Yeah, Kluber's been good, like you talked about, pretty good, especially at home. And he's got decent numbers. Hasn't faced a ton of these guys, but even Goldschmidt, I was looking up. I think it's like 1 for 20 off him. Pujols is 1 for 20. Goldschmidt's 1 for 6, but they haven't tagged him. But I think this is a sneaky over as well. I like that under yesterday. Hudson pitched well. I didn't think he'd go pitch that well. But tough one there, tough loss. I think Nodden gets hit around a little bit, and with the Rays, like I said, it just seems like one inning. This team is not consistent at the plate. Maybe they'll get going, and I think they will in July and August. But yeah, I lean over here with you. I like the plus price a little bit with the card. It's just you got to back Nodden, and that Cardinals bullpen, like people have talked about, I've talked about, they're horrible. I cannot, I know they're middle of the road, but man, when you gotta go there and have a ticket with them full game, man. It's like
I looked up their bullpen ERA, and I was surprised at how low it was during the Jose split since June 15th till today. 19th bullpen ERA of 4.61 with a 4.91 FIP. So you can even say they've been pitching poorly, and they should be pitching a little worse. So a complete say-off game for me, unfortunately. Ronnie Ambergia liked the Cards, but he got talked off of it. I guess if you had the Cards plus 130 and the line moved in your way, you have in the 117 now, you're feeling great. But I just weird line movement, and this seems like one of those games where you look at the line movement, and the Cardinals are just going to find a way to win this game, whether it be Corey Kluber just not being sharp or another just a bullpen day that goes well for them, and the Rays don't bring their bats. It just seems like one of those weird days,
Yeah, and what's going to happen? Is Kluber going to keep dealing? And he seems like he's going 6, giving up 1 or 2, or is he finally going to get tagged? And he's really only had one horrible, at L.A., May 10th, where he gave up 8 runs. So, maybe he's due to get hit around a little bit.
That contributes to his away ERA. So I can see it. Like it's just one of those things. Like just an example. Today, like the full line value was on the Royals today, and I was like, why is I like Brady Singer, but I didn't expect him to pitch that well, and it was it was just the Royals offense
finally hit. Yeah, hit Kikuchi, who's been pretty good, and then he came back to earth today.
I watched the game for a little bit, and it was like the second inning. I was like, where's Kikuchi? He's already gone, and I was like, oh no, and that's how you knew that was the first indicator. I was like, all right, well this is going to be a Royals day, huh? And it was interesting. And the Blue Jays did fight back to make it interesting. But, yeah, it's just one of those weird things, Let's talk about the next game. Texas Rangers versus the Cleveland Guardians. It's Bieber Day. And again, this is the same thing I say every time that Bieber comes on the mound. I don't want to bet on him, especially because his numbers are always a little higher than I want. And you see all those peripherals, you're like, but he still pitches well. He still ends up going out there and pitches well. So, his last 2 starts at Baltimore, at Detroit, say whatever you want to say about the opponents, but he goes out there, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 11 Ks, 2 walks, 8 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, no walks. Both, very acceptable numbers. The last start looking more like old Shane Bieber with 11 Ks. So I don't want to back the Rangers here in that aspect. And they're minus 160 just too juiced, and I think Dane Dunning can be a good pitcher, but he also, I'm going to pull up his home road splits. He also, I feel like he's one guy that just only pitches well at home, in that very cavernous ballpark that can eat up offense. That's, well, it's not as drastic as you would think, actually. He's got a 4.91 within 25 innings pitched on the road and a 3.53 in 35 innings at home. So definitely a split here. Again, Eric Jones is just, I looked at his comment and it's kind of taking the words right out of my mouth. Over 7 here also. It's another lean here. I can see the offense is getting a little hot here. Guardians 85 weighted runs created plus. That's 26 in the lead against righties. But I think they can definitely get to Dunning here. He's not anything overpowering. It's just, can the Rangers take advantage of Bieber here? And we'll make a note. We'll say this. A lot of jokes were made about Marcus Semien. A lot of jokes. He had the $500 million infield.
He ain't hitting over the Mendoza line. Shit. Yeah, he's hitting like 175.
And now he seems like he's like, all right, let's stop fucking around now. It's time. He's figured it out. I think it was last 6 games or something like that. He was hitting 345, 6 home runs. He's figured his shit out. So I think maybe those two stars there could get some hits off of Bieber, and perhaps you can get some Adelise or whoever there may be in that Rangers lineup. So I'd lean over here. It's a low number. Lean over 7. What about you, Connor?
Yeah, it's low for a reason, though. I think, it's about 70 degrees overcast. The wind's blowing in. As soon as the Guardians won, I took the Rangers in that second game, and I don't bet many doubleheaders. I took them first 5.
I didn't even lock it in, but I said team total over for them for sure. I said they were going to get off that game. So, yeah, great bet.
And you can see the difference here in this game. Dunning's a guy I don't want, better at home, and he always has that shitty inning. It seems like, the bases are loaded, and he gets out of it a few times, but he'll give up that huge double, and he walks guys, so not the best guy. Bieber here looking better as of late, a couple over 10K games, and he's on the bump at home. And there's a distinction here in this game. Guardians, will there be enough runs over 3.5 minus 140? And the Guardians, I know people like first 5. I got, anywhere minus 115 to 120. And then full game run lines 130. Huge, difference you find in these first 5 in full games. I don't like taking, the home team run line, but I'd look that way with the Guardians. I think they can get to Dunning and get the W here with Bieber on the mound. And it's just, do you want to go first 5? You have Bieber, you eat a little juice, or you want to go full game, maybe not get that at bat in the 9th. And get plus money at the plus 130 or so.
First 5 run lines minus 115.
Yeah, 115. Yeah.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Not too bad.
I will say this. Cleveland's bullpen, since during the Jose split, first in ERA, 188. So I don't hate it for full game at all. I don't hate that at all. The run line, don't hate it. A 2.51. I mean, yeah, in 11 Ks per 9, so that just shows you how dominant they've been too. So I like the Guardians here as well as you guys, but I'm liking the over more. Let's move on to the next game, and a game I've moved on here, and I'm putting my faith in just, I guess box scores here, because Jared Koenig, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, has had some ridiculous starts in AAA. We'll just talk about his last 2 for brevity's sake. Last one on the 1st of this month, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, a home run, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Dominant there, a good start. We'll take that every time. And before that, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, another one off a home run, 5 Ks, 2 walks there. He's just been cruising along, looking good. And now he's going to the defending world champions, all that good stuff. And I think he's going to pitch well today. I took the first 5 under 5 here, minus 110. I thought I was a little surprised that high, but we need Ian Anderson to be on point, because again he's definitely one of those guys where if you watch him first 2 innings, and the announcers will say it part of the time too, they're like, up, and his arm slots, he doesn't have his release point, it's not going to grip his fastball, and that's just all announcer talk for saying he doesn't have it today. It's not going to be a good day for Ian Anderson. So we'll need him to bring his A shit, obviously, and then I'm hoping on Koenig being able to, I'm not surprised because obviously you get scouting reports on everyone, but first time seeing a lineup, having a pretty decent start and keeping his shit together. And by the way, I shout out to Kyle Hintley's dog who made an appearance in the chat just now. But yeah, first 5 under 5, minus 110 for me.
I like that a bit. You know what, with these guys that they get called up, it's just like, I have a feeling they're going to pitch well. It's just, and you feel it, or just get fucking ripped. Yep. And Braves hitting a lot better as of late. I know they squeaked out that win yesterday. I kind of like this under too, and I think Anderson's going to pitch better because he hasn't been good. I mean, he was decent in Colorado. He gave up 5 runs, 10 hits, but he's even starts before that at home in Miami. He's going 5 or 6, but he's given up 4, and that's about where his ERA is right now. Is he due to have a great start? I think so. So I kind of like your under. Always dangerous in this ballpark where runs can be scored. Yeah. The A's might not get shit. Who knows? If they can get 4 or 5, that is great. But there are a lot of like 0, maybe 1 or 2 run games. So I kind of like that play. I definitely on my radar for sure.
Ronnie and Bergia also pointing out something important, I think. He says, yes, this guy's going to go 5 scoreless. Braves never seen him before. He's been lights out at Vegas. Vegas, future, I should say, first of all, that's the future home of these Oakland A's. And second of all, Vegas is an over city for those games. They just the ball
PCL is over.
out.
Yeah, decent elevation, ball flies here. Yeah,
exactly. So he's been doing well in Vegas. So I think those are good numbers, and you guys know if you've watched the show frequently that I enjoy backing, debut pitchers, debutantes, all that good stuff. And Rodney and Berge also mentioning that he's a 28-year-old rookie. He's been working his entire life for all this stuff. I'll back that 100%. I'll back it. So I'm on the first 5 under here. I'm going to be interesting for sure. I'm just gonna hope that Jared can keep it together. Just if we can make it through 5 3-earned runs, and then I don't think Ian Anderson's going to give any up, we'll be solid.
Yeah, he's due for a good start. I think, that'd be rough. If he gave up 3 or 4 again, that would not be good. I think he's due for some decent here at home. Huge line, too, here with the Braves on the game.
I thought that was a little excessive. Minus 240 is a little excessive.
They're getting that world champ. They're winning games. They're getting that huge number.
Yeah. They have been hot, and they're starting to roll. Acuna, 2 home runs. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So, I mean, watch out, Mets. Don't stumble, because the Braves are right there. Lance LaRose, A's moving to Vegas. When next season? ? No. That's just the A's owner are trying to leave California because they don't get funding for a new stadium. And now they're trying to show that the fans don't want to be there. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. So
maybe 3 years.
The Las Vegas A's will be there, I think, in the next 5 years, probably.
Yeah.
5 years?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So let's talk about the game that everyone, I think, is on. I mean, I'm on it too now. So Yankees, Twins. I'm on Yankees run line minus 115. It was minus 105 earlier today. I guess it takes me a little bit to bet the Yankees, but my cousin Nestor Cortez has been phenomenal this year. Leader probably in the AL Cy Young now. Off the top of my head, Gausman has fallen off. So I'm just thinking falling off, and I'm thinking just records. He's 4-3 in my head, or 5-3, whatever it was last time out. But yeah, Nestor's been dominant. He's the best pitcher on the staff. Last 2 starts versus the Angels, who I guess now are struggling. So we can take that with a grain of salt, obviously. 7 innings and 5 hits, no runs. And then at the Trop, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, and 1 walk there. It's so funny. It's so funny that I see so much of myself in Nestor, because he's just a chubby, short lefty with a shitty mustache. And then I was like, hey, that could have been me. It could have been me if I had any arm action. So I love that shit from Nestor. He's my favorite Yankees pitcher, and I'm backing him here. And guys, how much it pains me to say that I have a favorite Yankees pitcher. So yeah, Yankees run line minus 1.5, minus 115 for me. And obviously, I don't believe in Chris Archer. So Connor, what do you have in this game?
You know what, Chris Archer, though, has just been getting by. They don't want him to just get 4 innings, and it seems like he'll give up a homer or a solo homer or something like that, and that's been it. Cortez, I tried to go against him, I believe, with the Rays. It didn't work out. The guy's just dealing, like you talked about. When's he due to get a little bit hit, though? Twins are decent against lefties, 250.
Well, Connor, I'll tell you when he's due to get hit. The playoffs. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. He will, Yankees, for sure.
The Yankees do all this stuff in the regular season. That's why I'm like, oh, Yankees, good job. Do all this stuff in the regular season, no problem. And then they're just folding the playoffs like they always do. It's great.
His arm probably, he'll be lingered. They better watch the innings with him this year. So that's when he'll fold a little bit. Maybe a fade late during the year.
I'll tell you right now, Aaron Boone, I bet you innings limit, pitch count, all that shit, he doesn't think about that shit. Aaron Boone doesn't remember that shit. He's like, we're going to win today, so we're going to throw our guy, and then we'll worry about October when it comes. So it's interesting here. So I'm excited to see what my man Nestor does today. I'm on Yankees run line minus 1.5.
Yeah, Correa's in. Kyle, he's in.
Correa is. I did see that. Correa is in. I don't know. And D. Jensen saying Buxton also in as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. And that's big time. Maybe another over.
Seems too easy. right here. Yankees just run line,
Yeah,
easy
I mean that's.
breezy.
I said it took me a while to get on the Yankees. I said it took me a little bit, and I think it was one of my last editions of my editions. Actually, the Mets were, but I will say this: everyone being on the Mets does scare me. Well, I don't remember what the spot was last time, Connor, but we both said it last time we were on. We were like, man, everyone's on this, everyone, and whatever it was, it lost. I think
Astros.
it was Astros.
Yeah,
Okay,
Astros,
so yeah.
Mariners. Yeah, Verlander got his revenge the other night.
Yeah. So we were both talking about it. We're like, I don't know about this. And then, of course, it goes down. So I'm on it. I hope it wins, but we'll see. I believe in Nestor. So we'll see if today's the day he gets.
He's been great.
Here. Yeah, he's been great. So what can we say? And by the way, Ronnie and Berger giving us good news, or I guess news. June 30th, the Oakland City Council will vote on the Herald Terminal spot. So that's the spot on the water, I believe, right on the bay, which would be a great spot for a stadium. And if it gets voted down, they're gone. So that will be very, very. Oh yeah, it's 100% getting voted down. The A's don't want to use their own money to pay for it. So that's what we get here. So we'll see the Las Vegas A's coming to a stadium near you in the next 5 years. Next game on our slate, Doyers versus the Chicago White Sox here. And every time Johnny Cueto makes a start, I'm shocked every time. I don't know. I was going to say it warms my heart a little bit, but I want to fade him every time. I mean, every time I see him on the card, I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's Johnny Cueto day. It's time to fade him. But you look at his numbers and he's like, okay, well, he's been, all right, whatever, 0-2 with a 2.92 ERA. Sure. I mean, that's very serviceable. You'll take that. At Toronto, he got 4 runs, only 3 of them earned on 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 Ks, no walks. And I'll be honest, from Johnny Cueto, we'll take that. We'll take that from Johnny Cueto. And that's shocking to say. Versus the Chicago Cubs, the start before that, 6 2/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs. That's kind of what I'm expecting from Johnny Cueto. And will it happen today? Tony Gonsolin, 6-0. Has been a star in the waiting for the Dodgers forever. He was not in the bullpen or not in the rotation forever. He came out of the bullpen for their World Series run. And I always remember thinking, like, he's so good. Like, he could start anywhere else, and now he's kind of put his shit together.
Except against the Braves in the playoffs. It seemed like he couldn't get a pitch past those guys. They were just rip his ass the last few years. But other than that, yeah.
I will say this. I still sometimes just cannot believe that the Braves blew a 3-1 lead to the Dodgers in that postseason. I believe it was a 3-1 lead, and they were right there, and they could have won 2 World Series in 3 years or whatever it was. I don't know if it was back to back actually, but crazy. It was right there for them. But the Dodgers go out there and win, obviously, and they're a juggernaut for a reason. And I kind of expect them to roll today. Maybe I'll be kicking myself I didn't take the run line here. Instead of taking the Yankees game, but I do like both those teams to win. Kyle Handling going Yankees Dodgers for 500. I'll parlay there. I don't hate that at all. So, what do you think on this, Connor?
Yeah, the first few starts I took Cueto in the first 5 under. It's a little bit cold there in Chicago, but yeah, 6 innings, 6 2/3, 6 innings. I know those last few starts he gave up 5 to the Cubs, 3 to the Jays. He just, that funky ass motion, I don't know what it is. They've seen a ton of him though, these Dodgers, or whether it's with the Giants, the Reds. Few guys hit him. Justin Turner, 15 for 40, couple homers, maybe a guy to look at. Bellinger, 7 for 25 with a dong. I like the under a little bit. I don't know if I want to go back to it. Gonsolin's just been unreal. I think the Dodgers win today. I know, it seems like everyone likes that as well. Squares play, Yankees, Dodgers.
Yeah, right. Just big market favorites. Square play today. There you go.
But it's been a while since the Dodgers, I think, lost 5 in a row. I lean with them. I wish we were getting plus money. I think so.
Wow.
I'm not sure. They've lost. They've not been good lately. But before that, the Pirates, I think they're 2-7 then, their last 9 or some bullshit like that. So
that's funny. What's funny about that? As a Red Sox fan and a Boston sports fan in general, a 2-7 Red Sox stretch, the world will be burning down in Boston. 2-7 or whatever, 5 straight losses for the Dodgers. I don't hear a fucking peep. I don't hear anything. So
yeah. 3 straight losses. Sorry, in between there.
Okay, so that's, I mean, still, I mean,
2-6, 2-7.
You know, it's just something. It's just funny to me that the LA area just not worried, and obvious for good reason. But in Red Sox Nation, everyone freaked the fuck out. Which, I mean, I'm right there with them. I'm the leading charge of one of the people freaking the fuck out most. So,
Here, they're on the road. I'd go the run line. You get even money, -105. Compared to the team total, it's 4.5, -125. We took it the other day. We were on the show. After the Dodgers get blanked, though, I like them to score runs. So either of those, I wouldn't mind it. I like the under here, too. So I don't know where I'm going here. I don't know if I want to go Dodger run line or this under.
Yeah, like I said, I think that might be. I might be at the during the live stream tonight, which you can watch on the playback. Like I said, I've posted and pinned the link onto the stream, so definitely go watch that tonight. But I can feel myself already just being pre-angry about taking the Yankees run line and not the Dodgers run line. So I do like both.
Oh, there goes Jose, just out cold. You good?
And the computer goes down too during the show. So we love that. We love that. See, Connor, this is why we're flexible. We do everything on the go here. We're just ready to adapt.
Sounds good, man.
That's what's beautiful about Say Hey Place. You never know what's going to happen, right, Connor?
Yeah. What were you just saying there?
I just like both run lines. At the end of the day, I like both run lines, and it'll be an interesting game either way. So let's move on to our next game on our slate here. That was very funny. That happened to me. That's happened to me a couple times. And I think, Connor, you've been on a couple times where the computer just dies on me just randomly. But
hey, it's all good. I'll take it over.
We're flexible here. We are flexible. Phillies Brewers here. Aaron Nola versus Adrian Hauser. And I am one of the few people that like Hauser, it seems like. It seems like I am a stick on the wind in that aspect. Nola is another person that I really don't know how I feel about him either. Like, you think he's the ace of the staff, and he gets lined as an ace all the time, but he'll go out there and have a Giants performance at home, 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks. Not what we want. And he'll go out there at Atlanta, 8 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 10 Ks, no walk. So it's just so unpredictable with him, and it just makes me not want to bet it at all. So just a stay off game for me at the end of the day.
This game's interesting to me here. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up where the money is.
Please do. And while you do that, I'm going to see if I can't get the other computer working again. So I'll be here, but do your thing, and I'll be back in a half second.
Yeah, sounds good. Man, all the money, the tickets, and the money here. 51% tickets, 65% of the money on the Phils. I just can't take Nola. I know he's pitched better as of late on the road. There's just no way do I want this guy. Phillies got that great win yesterday. One thing, the Brewers can't hit lefties. They do hit righties. And if you guys have hit him in the past, I do like Hauser's. There's a few Phillies that have hit Hauser really, really well. It seems like a few nice under yesterday. It seems like this could be too low. I know both these pitchers can pitch well. I like Hauser as well. This is going against me, which I don't love, but I lean over and I take the Brewers. I don't know why you want Nola on the road. I just don't get it. This is not where I want this guy. And he showed it throughout his career. So, yeah, it's just the Brewers, they're hitting. Like I said, better against righties. But hold on, I want to pull up the some of the stats here with these guys real quick. But I like the Brew Crew a little bit here. Bounce back, plus money. It's not going in my favor, the money. And I'd lean over. This might be too low at 8.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. If you cover up the hitting stats for both teams in the last couple of days, or the last couple of weeks, I should say, and I think these are switched. 16th are the Brewers against righties, 100 weighted runs created plus exactly. Phillies, 86. So that's 25th in the league. Obviously, they've taken a little bounce since Girardi's gotten fired, but we'll see how that goes. I mean,
Brewers are hitting real quick. 291 off Nola. Let me see how many at bats. That's 110 at bats.
Is this
What?
Nola's first start since Girardi's been fired? You know, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
you
it
know,
is.
that's
And
another maybe.
real quick, 279 off Hauser. Like I said, some of these Phillies hit him. Castellanos 8 for 23. A few other guys, but decent averages. So yeah, I lean over, and tough to say I don't love it, but it's going against me. But I think Hauser's a little bit better pitcher here at home. Tough to take the Brewers. This lineup can struggle. Damn it. But Phillies are not good. I talk about all the time. Their bullpen's soft. They're weak defensively. So, man, I'm going to take the Brewers. I might be going against the grain here, but Brewers are lean over.
Yeah, my thing, though, my mental hurdle with the Brewers is just they've got they I think they literally have the worst contract in baseball. Him, or I should say, Anthony Rendon might have some words. Maybe Patrick Corbin will have some words with you too, but Christian Yelich has just been just atrocious to what he.
What happened to that guy?
Yeah, he was literally Barry Bonds. He put up the same numbers as Barry Bonds for like a season and a half, and then he fouls a ball off his knee, breaks his kneecap, and it's all over. Like, if he stays healthy there, the Brewers have a chance to make a deep playoff run. Their pitching was phenomenal, obviously, and it's just, since then, it's just sapped the power out of him, and it's made me really sad, honestly, because he's a great guy too. So, yeah, it's just crazy to see. It's crazy to see. And by the way, I forgot who said it. G. Jenkins says he absolutely loves to see it. A Marlins fan, so that's funny to see there. Shout out to Christian Yelich, who former Marlins legend. I watched the Marlins highlight the other day with the old Marlins colors, and when I say the old Marlins colors, I mean the orange and black, and when it had all the green everywhere, and I was like, this right here, this is what I loved about the Marlins. And unfortunately, they changed it all. So shout out to the Marlins. Next game on our slate, let's go to Boston here. Let's talk about the Red Sox-Angels game. Reed Detmer is making his appearance today instead of yesterday. We still cashed up both plays, the over. But we've got Nathan Eovaldi on the other side. And every time people will talk about Nathan Eovaldi, they'll cite his home runs. I believe he has 13 now, right up there with the lead leaders. And I kind of, obviously it's an issue, but I kind of just shrugged that off because 5 of those came in literally one inning against the Astros on a super, I guess wouldn't say super windy day, but obviously optimal hitting environment for home runs that day. So it's been an issue, and I will say this, shout out to Nate, because he did throw a shutout, 6-inning shutout, 4 hits, 8 Ks, 1 walk. His first start without giving up a home run since, I believe it was the 30th, on the 30th of last month. So it's crazy. It's been crazy. So I will shout out Nate there. I do think that the Red Sox win today again. Minus 155. It was about the same as minus 160 yesterday with Whitlock on the bump. And then Whitlock's going to go on the IL here soon too, which is going to be an issue later. But I'm on the Red Sox team total over 4.5 at minus 115. I think that Reed Detmers is not a good quality pitcher. Shout out to him for the no-hitter. I'm looking to fade him almost every opportunity I get here. I'll take the team total, and I will also fade an Angels bullpen that I just frankly don't believe in. So, and my last point here, obviously we saw Joe Girardi get fired, and I don't even know the Phillies bench coach's name, but I asked my guy Andrew, and he said he's a 28-year bench coach before getting the job, or is it 28 or 38 years or something ridiculous. But Phil Nevin getting the job here, and I said it yesterday too, Phil Nevin was basically asked to leave by the Yankees. Like, they did not renew his contract, and just suddenly now the Yankees, after firing most of their assistant coaches, are now and rehiring new ones. They're suddenly now the best team in baseball. Is that a coincidence? Phil Nevin leaving and the Yankees becoming better? Now he's the head coach? I don't know, man. So I just don't think that this is the guy, and I think that I'm already ripping up my Angels to make the playoffs ticket. So it's Red Sox team total over 4.5 for me, Connor.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I like it. How can you back the Angels? There's just no reason to until they start winning ball games. someone put it, Lance, but yeah, he's better at home. He had one start earlier against Boston, I think May 4th. 4 innings. He gave up 3 runs, 3 Detmers.
That was
Eovaldi, yeah, that was pre no hitter. Wind's blowing out 8 or 9, 76 degrees. I think the ball jumps. Eovaldi's got a home run problem. And Trout's was 6 for 17. Obviously, he'll be out, I'm pretty sure. But the rest of these Angels hit him well. 310. I like the full game over, especially with that shitty Angels bullpen. It worked last night. It went over. The first game went under. I like the over here. I don't mind your team total. And it would only be the Red Sox if you were going to a side. Definitely. Legaro's 5 for 10. Duffy's 3 for 3. Stassi 3 for 5. Walsh 2 for 6. So if you guys hitting Eovaldi, and the Angels desperately need a win. So I don't know if they're still going to press, but give me the wind blowing out. Give me these pitchers. I'll take the over 8.5.
Yeah, I'm actually going to move on that with you too, Connor, because I did the same thing yesterday. I took the over 8.5 yesterday, and it turned out a little sweatier than anticipated, but I'll be honest, there was not a moment in that game where I was like, this is going over for sure.
Yeah, and Detmers could be decent. He's not going to fool you, though. He doesn't have crazy put away shit, but the Red Sox just starting to hit lefties. They've already seen him. I think they can get 3 or 4, then get to that Angels bullpen. It's just a dumpster fire. I mean, they were playing so over their head. Remember I was saying, this team's not very good, and they started to prove it.
Yeah, I unfortunately for the Angels fans and me, I have to be very anti-Angels because they're the team fighting for the last wild card spot with the Red Sox, and they're going to drop off, unfortunately for them. So I'll have a new opponent here soon, but yeah, this seems like unfortunately just same old business for the Angels, and it's really sad. And hopefully Mike Trout can come back soon as well, because I have a bet with Jimmy, and I would like him to amass more WAR than Vladdy Jr. So that would be nice. Officially adding the over in this game as well. I have the team total over 4.5 for the Red Sox -115, and I'm on the over 8.5 at -105 there for me officially. Let's move on. We've got 2 more games here, and I've got a bet on this one here, Connor. My last play of the day, actually. And I moved on this one, just before the show. I was looking at it, and I was like, and I honestly, I capped it before looking at the lines here, really just diving into the lines. And I saw the pictures, and I was like, well, the Mets have got to be this has got to be a pick 'em, right? It's got to be at least close to a pick 'em. And when I saw the +113, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm taking the Mets. Just based off line value, I think they're going to win this game. I don't believe in the Padres bullpen, who have put up some decent numbers, but we have seen them time and time again just fucking shit down their leg. I think Trevor Rogers is a good reliever, and it seems like every time he goes in, it's just the sweatiest thing ever. I don't know what it is. Obviously, they got a great performance from Yu Darvish yesterday, 7 innings. Dominance, and then they had a 2-inning reliever that came in, gave up no hits. So Mets didn't bring their bats yesterday, but I took the Mets money line. And obviously the thing is Marte being out and Pete Alonso being out, there were issues too. So I just think that'll be interesting here. I think it'll be interesting for sure. And I just got a text message that I need to respond to. But yes, I will be interested for sure in this game on the Mets money line. My last point here. Home, Manaea, a 5.01 ERA, and on the road, he's got a 3.03. So I like the Mets tonight. Yeah,
I like them too to bounce back. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if Alonso will be in or Marte, but Lindor, Escobar have some good numbers. 4 for 9 with a homer. Escobar 3 for 6 with a homer. Just had a hit for the cycle, and the other night. So, you know what? I don't know what I like better. Just take the Mets here or the team total, because it's about the same. Team total is 110. The Mets are 115. I haven't decided on that yet, but I like they got the goose egg. Manaea, he just seems, even at home, he goes 5, he gives up 3 runs. And I think this Mets team can bounce back this offense. So Bassett's been good, even on the road. That last start in L.A., he gave up 3 quick, and then he pitched really, really well. As long as he doesn't walk anybody, I think he'll be good. His only bad game, I remember, the Giants, where he, May 24th, where he gave up 8 runs. And the other game, two Giant starts, really where he's got ripped. Back to April 20th, he went 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned. I like the Mets here. I think you're getting good value on this team. I don't buy the Padres. I think they're not that as good as their record. I think maybe later on in the year you'll see that dive. Maybe not as bad as that dive was last year. That was horrible. And they're getting all this done without Tatis, which is good for them.
Surprising too.
Yeah, shocking. So Machado's been money.
Yeah,
and everyone else has not been. Yeah,
he's the other guy. And I will say this. I should say Padres 29th right now against righties, 77 weighted runs created plus, while the Mets 9th, 130 weighted runs created plus against lefties. It just seems like a clear. Just look at the numbers and it screams Mets. And then you look at the line, it's the Mets a little bit of underdog here against. I think I've got a starting and pitching advantage. Maybe you could say it's a wash, but I think I've got a slight advantage. Chris Bassett versus Sean Manaea, especially with the home ERA being a 5. Bullpens, line them up. I think I've got an advantage with the Mets too. As crazy as to say, I mean, at least Edwin Diaz, I think Edwin Diaz has looked great this year. He's had, when he first came to Queens, he was horrible. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, we traded this guy. We traded Jared Kelenic, and oh no!" And now he's one of the best closers in baseball, and everyone fucking freaks out when they hear the trumpets or whatever he has going on now as his walk-up thing. So yeah, I just like the Mets tonight, and I think this is the third in the third game in the series. I don't know if it's a 4-game series because I take this shit one day at a time, but Mets won't win the series. Mets won't win the series. So I'll take them tonight, no problem.
I like it.
All right, last game on our slate here: Rockies versus the Giants here. Wood versus Senzatella, and I think Herman Marquez and Senzatella are just like the same dude in my head now. They really have just become the same guy in my head. And I need to double check if Senzatella has been a swollen as well. That might be also a factor in it. But Senzatella just not been good this year. 2-3, a 5.40 ERA. Last time out versus the Miami Marlins, which, maybe this contributes to the Miami Marlins being first against righties here. 5 1/3, 13 hits, 6 earned runs, a home run, 3 Ks there. The Senzatella has faced these Giants the 2 previous starts before that. The Giants at home, 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 Ks, a walk. So, good job there. And then at home or at the Giants here, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, a K, 2 walks. I mean, is it just seem too easy to be the Giants here? Is that what it is? Wood, we've got him last time out at Miami, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. The Giants or the Rockies against lefties, 97, 21st in the league right now during the Jose split. I think it's obviously a Giant spot here, but I think it's another over spot too here. Jake Bird and Cheshire Cat both saying what I'm thinking too. How is this not a first 5 over? And Cheshire saying runs, just runs. So yeah. I'm right there with you guys. I'm not on it officially here, but I think the same here. I'll look at those blinds real quick while Connor's speaking. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, last night, how about it? Giants get 3 right off Marquez and don't get nothing. That was horrible. The bats were pathetic. Shocking. Charlie Blackmon pitch hit, 3-run bomb in the McCovey Cove. Rockies hit lefties. I know Senzatella's, Giants hit 263 off him. I think he gives up some runs, but the Giants should not be favored this big again. I know the Rockies on the road, but they still hit lefties right around 300. Alex Wood, they're hitting 302 off him. Like I said, it's already moved. In most places, it's 9 everywhere. I don't mind the first 5 over, full game. I think we get some runs. And I'd be leery of taking the Giants again. Just real easy run line.
Yeah, I think it's a first 5 over spot for sure. I looked at it. It's over 4.5 at -125. I'm not going to take it officially. I think I've got enough action. But if I were to gun my head, pick a play on this game, it would be the first 5 over for sure. I also don't hate a full game over. But just kind of pick your poison there, what you want to do. So nothing officially for me here. But Connor, we'll review all of our plays here, and I do have exciting news. My Dr. Squatch package has finally arrived at home. I finally got the Galaxy bundle here, and I can say definitively that the Moon Bar, the Mars Bar, is my favorite one. The Mars Bar is my favorite one. And Connor, unfortunately, I was out on the Black Hole. I gave the Black Hole a good whiff, and I almost threw up personally. But
I thought you loved it.
I gave it another whiff, and I was like,
okay.
oh God, I can't do this. I'm officially a Mars Bar guy and an Area 51 brick dude. So I like that, the Mars Bar, and Jake Burns also hearing say that the Mars Bar is the best. I like them both. It's I don't know what it is, man. It's in the Black Hole here, and in this picture, it looks a little more gray than it actually is. Connor, I'll tell you, the Black Hole is as black as you think it is. It is just a black brick, but it is a great soap for other people, not for me. My parents actually did like the smell of it, so I gave it to them. I stuck myself the last two, and I can say that Dr. Squatch is Helga approved as well. So go to the link in our description. That'll make the company know that we sent you guys. You go to the subscriptions. They're just a great soap company, all natural. It's great. And Pine Tar is the best from Jake Burns, though. I can easily smell and see why the Pine Tar would be the best one. You know, I sometimes when you smell a Pine Tar stick back in the day, I was like, man, I just want to lick this. And maybe if you use the Pine Tar, maybe a woman will think the same thing about you. So that'll be interesting for sure. Or a man. You never know what you're going to do. So shout out to Dr. Squatch, and shout out to the sponsors of Pop Sports Radio. Connor, let's talk about official plays here before we get out of here. I will give you my list here, and I will shut up and let you go here. But officially, like I've said on the show here, 194, I should say, 194 and 187, up 12.03 units on the year. 2-2 yesterday, down just a little under some juice there. So we'll get into it here. Red Sox team total 4.5 at -115. Seattle, Houston, first five under 4.5 at -125. Oakland and the Braves first five under 5 -110. Excuse me. Yankees Yankees run line. I don't know why I said team total. Yankees run line -115, and the New York Mets money line +113. And lastly, excuse me, this is my last play, and this is the play they added during the show. The over in that Red Sox game, over 8.5 at -105. Connor, what are you making official?
You know what? I am going with that A's Braves under 5. We will see. I got a hold in my breath there. Even money. I'm on the Brewers. I think I can get better than 1 + 112. I know everything's going against me here, but I do not want Nola. And I haven't bet a ton on the Brewers this year. I don't trust them, like we talked about. But I don't trust the Phillies in that bullpen. So Brewers full game. I got +113 right now. Angels, Red Sox over 8.5, -105. I think we get runs in that one. And Mets, I'm going team total +110. I think you can go full game +115, right around the same price. I think they get it done there. Last, man, I lean that Mariners Astros under 4.5, and Rockies Giants. I think that gets over as well. Interesting one. That one I'm going to wait on, but I have time for that. Also, I like the Dodgers. I'm probably not going to play it. I know everyone, Dodgers, run line, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to stay off.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't hate it at all. I'm not going to move on it. So for sure there. I just put the link to pubsportsradio.com in the comments right there, or I guess in the live chat. So go check out pubsportsradio.com. It is a great website. A lot of different things on there. First of all, 25% off the entire website.
25 off, baby.
Yes, that is a great sale. We don't do sales very often. So shout out to Jeff for allowing that to happen. Of course, get some shirts. The merch is always lovely. Pub Sports Radio shirts. There's a bunch of different kinds, and it's great. And there's also a merch store in the YouTube description, or I guess in the little YouTube thing. So check that one out. It has different designs as well. Both are phenomenal. But pubsportsradio.com, both profits obviously go to Pub Sports Radio, and they help us put on more Pubapaloozas, more trips, stuff like that. But it's all a good cause, obviously, and go to Pub Sports Radio. And when you do, check us out tonight. Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and it seems like everyone and their moms are on the Warriors. I saw
playback.
Yes, on the playback.
I don't know about that. I think it's.
Well, I've seen 60%. The last little split thing I saw was like 60% of the bets and 60% of the handle were on the Warriors. So I think it'll be a very interesting game indeed, and I hope Vegas wins tonight. I hope Vegas wins and take all the money because I'm on the Celtics, obviously. But yes, go to the Pub Sports Radio website. When you do, you'll see a little icon in the upper corner that says playback, and there's the buy a coffee thing right there as well. So go do that. It's great. It's a good way to support the pub and watch the playback tonight with me and whoever else joins in there. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'll try to jump back there. Real quick, shout out to Puzzler. We talked about that earlier. Contreras, over 1.5 bases. I like it, my man. Real quick.
Yes, I like that too. That's nice. I'm going to be a fucking maniac tonight, Connor. I have built up a lot of hate for the Warriors, and I am not excited for what happens tonight on the live stream. People will get a glimpse as to see how crazy
psychotic
is
you are?
that character. Yeah. How crazy is this guy? Because I remember, I think it was HD2, but I know he's just busting balls or whatever. He's like, why do you care this much? You're not from Boston. You're from Venezuela. I'm like, my man, if you only knew how much I cared. If you only knew how much I care about these dumb sports that we all talk about. So, oh, God, it's going to be a great day. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Like I said, go to pubsportsradio.com. Go watch us tonight. It's going to be in a couple of hours. I think the game's at 8 my time, so I've got 2-3 hours to prepare myself mentally, and we'll do this. It'll be a fun show. Connor, where can the people find you at?
Just here, Pub Sports Radio. No, I like the Dodgers. We talked about it. I just wanted plus money with them. Their team total, 4.5 was 125. I don't want that. So, I mean, their run line's even money. That's what I'd be on.
Yeah, same. If it was free play today, it'd be on Dodgers run line. So, for sure. Follow Connor at Connor Mac Picks. Don't forget to say hey on social media. Obviously, you can follow me at Jose Bouquett. I've got a bunch of old ladies staring at me through the glass right now, so I'm going to end the show and go say hello to them, maybe sign some autographs. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we will catch you guys out tomorrow. We'll be back again. Remember, guys, say hey plays every day. The grind don't stop and the streak don't stop.